And this is how we get down. What a huge day in the BTT Studios universe. First and foremost, good morning. And welcome to a glorious Tuesday, the first day of July here in 2025. I am your navigator. I'm your host. I am the coach. This is Coach and Company. We are live every single weekday on the Stadium Network and everywhere that Stadium is. Amazon Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV, Roku, LG, all of it. We are available in over 100 million homes. Now, a little bit of housekeeping. Do not forget, we have two shows on the Stadium Network, including the Coach and Bro Show, the fastest growing show in all of pro wrestling. It airs 11 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday night, repeated 6 a.m. Eastern on Thursday morning, and you do not want to miss this week's show. Also, you can catch The Last Word, which is our other pro wrestling show, on our BTT YouTube page. We do it every Monday right after Monday Night Raw. You don't want to miss last night's show as well. But today is also a big, big day in our universe. When we started BTT a year ago, when we started Coach and Company 6 months ago, we knew you can't do it on your own. You got to collaborate. You got to bring other people into the mix. And that's exactly what we've done. And today, it is a little bit about me, but long term, it's about all of us as we continue to partner with some of the biggest companies in the world, like SiriusXM, your boy, us, a part of the brand new lineup. The very first 24/7 Pro Wrestling Network starts today. That's right, 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern time. We call it Off the Ropes. Me and a different co-host every single day about the biggest topics in all of pro wrestling. And today at 3 p.m. Eastern time, a man that I traveled with, one of the great characters of all time, will be our very first guest on the show. Hurricane Helms will be there at 3 p.m. Eastern time. I could not be more excited. Congratulations to Dave LaGreca and the entire crew over there at Busted Open for making this a reality. Now, as always, we're also a sports betting show. And yesterday we had what I like to call a kiss your sister kind of day. Didn't win, didn't lose, basically just was. Lost a little bit of juice. But today, my guys are fired up. Today we have Prize Picks. We have a special one-word edition. And also some teams in the NBA, now that we're in the window, starting to make some moves. And also, if you could play in any city in the NBA, where would it be? All that coming up. But ladies and gentlemen, do you hear that? Oh, yeah. My company, they're ready to come in. It's time to beat the books. And today, Coach and Company, presented by the Four-Letter Word Club, the most exclusive club in all of golf, and their brand new first merch drops on July 4th, this Friday. You'll be able to purchase that through here, and they already gave me a little sneak peek. Oh, look at the gear. Don't you boys wish you were in a little bit of Four-Letter Word Club gear? I know you do. Now, look at these four mongrels. Four of my absolute very favorites. Let's start with the man from the Dirty. And yesterday, our favorite bet, BTTS. Big Chuck, good morning.
Morning, Coach, man, company. Old Faithful came through for us. And, yeah, let me congratulate you on the new venture. Then happy Bobby Bonilla Day to everybody. Excited about July. Can't wait to get it going.
Can you imagine getting a check every July 1st for 30 years like Bobby Bonilla? It's awesome. Just awesome. Smart agent, too. Very, very smart agent. Just like Shohei Ohtani's. Now, next, he is our numbers guy for a reason. You need anything from a numbers perspective, he's on our team. Say good morning to Rafael Esparza. Good morning, Rafael.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, family. Congrats to Big Coach on this big show today, 2 to 4. I can't wait to listen. Not only Bobby Bonilla Day, but Happy Canada Day as well.
Happy Canada Day?
Yep.
Oh, Canada. Now, These two, if you're new to our little brand here, we have to separate them even on the screen. That's how much they despise each other. The prize fight coming up in just about 27 minutes from right now. Let's start with the man from the Northeast, the best beard in the game. Soupy, what's good?
Good morning, everybody. Yes, happy Bobby Bonilla Day and happy July. We no longer have to flip the calendar before we get NFL minicamp.
What the hell did you just say?
We no longer have to flip the calendar. We are in the month where training camp starts, man. It's NFL season. It is NFL season.
All right, well, let's say that then. Hey, training camp start this month. Could have said that.
Talking about practice.
Talking about practice? Practice? All right, now this man takes time off from summer school for little old us here at the show. Live from Hollywood. Say good morning to young Peyton Lodge. Good morning, King Lettuce.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me, guys. Soupy, I don't even have to say anything. Coach just makes fun of a couple words he says. I love it. I just sit back here, relax, and I'm like, oh, let's go. And yeah, I can imagine. Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Yeah, I can imagine what it's like to get a check for $30 million a year because Anthony Rendon right now has a 7-year, $245 million contract, which is not exactly as lengthy as the Bobby Bonilla, but it definitely feels that way.
Yeah, when he's not doing nothing. Nothing. All right, gentlemen, where do we start today? I want to start with the man that is a human cash register. Charles, I'm looking at you, big boy. Start us off. Best bets. Let's go.
You'll never guess. We're going right back to the FIFA Club World Cup. This time we have Real Madrid and Juventus. I just selected two more teams who like to score in this tournament. Real Madrid, they've already scored 7 goals through the group stage, and Juventus, they produced 11 goals in just 3 matches. If it's not broke, don't fix it. We're going to go right back to the both teams to score between Los Blancos and the old lady.
Did you say Los Blancos and the old lady?
That I did, Coach Man.
I thought maybe my ears or something. We've got some words going on today. All right, by the way, this new competition that Chuck's talking about, wide open soccer. It's so much fun to watch, Charles. Last night was 4-3 in our BTTS cash. That was a ton of fun.
Loved it. Goals in extra time. Yeah, everyone, Man City got shocked. So now you may want to look at Chelsea on that side of the bracket.
Yeah, their coach, by the way, not very happy with some of the delays, the weather delays that they've been having in those games. 2 hours the other night, by the way. All right, Big Chuck, starting us off strong. I like it. Raphael, coming over to you. Best bets. Let's go.
Big Chuck's play. Get it now. -160, -165 on those BTS nights. So hurry up and jump on next. We could probably see -180. We're going with the ladies first at my first play. We're going to go with the Fever Links. Both teams to score. That's right. BTTS synergy with Big Chuck. We think over 77.5, laying the 3 nickels in the Fever Lynx game. Fever has hit this game 3 out of the 4 games, and we all know Minnesota Lynx. They just come back scoring a century mark against the lonely Connecticut. They're going to put up points, but keep an eye out for Caitlin Clark. If she doesn't play, do not bet this at all. And then in baseball, give me the Houston Astros, the quiet Houston Astros that no one wants to talk about in Major League Baseball. I'll take them minus on the run line, -115 against Colorado. Listen to this, Coach. Colorado has lost 53 out of their 65 games by the run line this year. Why not play them against the run line every time they step on the field?
When I hear nuggets like that, I think just play it every single time. You're going to save a ton of juice. And right now, it's really hard. When you've played 84 games, it's almost impossible to be 33 and a half games back. But Colorado is. Now, we don't have losing streaks like that in our prize fight coming up at the bottom of the hour, but we're on the same team right here. So, Soupy, my man, let's go.
I'm going to piggyback off Raphael a little bit. The Lynx, I've got them winning this game. I'm taking them at -6.5. Whether there is Caitlin Clark, she might be limited with that groin injury, or she's not playing at all. The Fever are not playing well. They've dropped 3 of the last 5 games going against the Lynx, who were in the WNBA finals last year. They are going to win the Commissioner's Cup tonight by more than 6 points. And then I'm going to take the Brewers. They are an underdog against the Mets. I'm fading the Mets on Bobby Bonilla Day because they make bad decisions, business decisions, and they make bad baseball decisions because they've lost 12 of their last 15. From the beginning of the season to June 12th, they were the best pitching staff in the league. And since June 12th, they are now the worst. They're playing bad offense. They're playing bad defense. Even their owner says they're playing bad baseball. Fade them. Take the Brewers on the money line.
I like a team that has an owner that'll speak out and say like it is. They have now fallen 2 games back of Philadelphia in the National League East with this recent losing streak. All right, young Peyton in the friendly confines of Papa Bear, as he is the pregame host for the LA Angels, also has a hit radio show, Drive Time, the Sports Lodge. So channel your inner dad, Roger Lodge, and give me some bangers today. Let's go.
We're taking a couple of plus money picks today. We're taking the Yankees over 2.5 runs in the first 5 innings at plus 105. They're up against Kevin Gausman, who they've seen a ton, 186 times to be exact. And as a team, the Yankees are hitting 250 against him. I think the Yankees had a rough loss last night. They couldn't come through in some big situations, and they really lost the game yesterday in just one bad inning. They gave up 4 in 1 inning. They're going to come out strong tonight and beat up on Kevin Gausman. And speaking of 2.5, I'll take the 2.5 at plus 110 for the Dodgers to cover at home against the White Sox. How about the White Sox, guys? They've won back-to-back 2 out of 3 against the Giants. Nice job, guys. As Rav says to bad teams that win, yippee! And Yoshinobu Yamamoto at home tonight. It's going to be a long series and a long month if you look at the upcoming schedule for the Chicago White Sox, and it starts tonight.
And right now, the White Sox are, 24.5 games back. Right now in the doldrums, it's the Rockies and the White Sox. By the way, did you say they won back-to-back 2 out of 3?
They won back-to-back, and they took 2 out of 3 in the series from the Giants.
Oh, my bad. My bad on that.
It's okay.
All right. Now, speaking of beating up on the books, every winning streak must come to an end. But, Mark, how many days in a row did we cash our JTS Play of the Day until yesterday?
On the show, Coach, we cashed for 5 straight days. We also run that every day on the weekend as well, so we actually cashed 8 days.
8 days in a row. So 8 out of 9, not bad. Let's get another winning streak started today. What do we got?
You got it. So we're going to get this one started with Minnesota's Lynx, Courtney Williams, to hit at least 1 3-pointer tonight against the Fever. She's done this in her last 4 home games, averaging 2.3 triples over that stretch. And then we're going to pair that with Milwaukee Brewers' Christian Yelich to get a hit today against the Mets, something he's done in 12 straight games and in 15 of his last 16 road games. Put them both together to get us back in the win column with a plus 101. Just a Stat Sports Player of the Day.
We do it together as a team, as a family, and we want you to be a part of it. Scan that QR code. Then use our code, BTT30, and I'm going to give you 30 days for free. You can go in and check out the entire site, and I tell you this all the time. This is the fastest growing site, and within the next 2 to 4 years, it'll be the #1 site that all bettors and sports fans go to. It'll be the best tool in your toolbox. Get in right now. You can't have a better deal than this. All right? That's what I'm talking about. Now, great start. And as you can tell, I'm hyped today. I've got a vibe today. If you're watching on YouTube, we've got a little something fun for you there as well. But still to come. On the other side, we go one word. A former lineman for Aaron Rodgers. Poking a little fun? We'll discuss it. And we got some teams in the NBA making moves. Will it be enough? We'll discuss that as well. And if you could play in one NBA city as an NBA player, what city would it be? It's the 1st of July. We are just getting started. We are now just 2 months and 4 days away from the launch of the NFL season. And I'm telling you right now, I could not be more excited about it. Settle in. This is where you need to start every single day for yourself. It's Coach and Company, live as always, right here on Stadium. Oh, boys, coming up in one word, we're going to have a breaking news is going to be our first topic. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but today's going to be very wrestling-centric during our YouTube breaks to honor my new wrestling show on SiriusXM, Off the Ropes. So, Soupy, let me come over to you. Favorite wrestler of all time for Soupy is who?
You know, I'm going to go with one that's not so obvious. I'm a big DX fan, but I'm going with the road dog Jesse James, one of my favorites on the mic. That intro with him and Badass Billy Gunn, always loved listening to it.
I have a great story about that in a second. Raphael, your favorite wrestler of all time?
Mine turned in 1997 when I was working in Vegas in Halloween Havoc between Title versus Mask. Give me Eddie Guerrero any day of the week. He lies, he steals, he cheats. Give me Eddie Guerrero. Rest in peace.
Oh man. Oh, I was in the he was in the room right above me when he passed away in Minneapolis all those years ago. Real quickly, Road Dogg, one of my favorites of all time. I had a job on the road, and let's just say that we had to give him and X-Pac an hour if I wanted them to do any on-camera work. You can probably figure out why they needed an hour. But one night, we used to do the show called Sunday Night Heat, and it would tape like on Tuesdays, and, Raw was on Mondays. So we were in Pittsburgh one night, Penn State the next night. So we're in Pittsburgh, and we just been in Penn State. And all of a sudden, Road Dogg gets in, Soup. You remember he used to go, Road Dogg, Jesse James. So he always starts off saying the city. So he gets in, and he goes, Penn State, welcome to the dog house. The only problem was we were in Pittsburgh. So the referee just saunters over to him and whispers in his ear, and he goes, let me try that again, because it was a tape show, Sunday Night. He goes, Penn State, welcome to the dog house. And goes, and it was one of the funniest things ever. And I know it lives somewhere, but oh my God, he had no clue what city he was even in most of the time. He's now the lead writer for SmackDown. Love him. We're back in 3 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Coach and Company having a great time. The vibe is awesome here this morning live on Stadium. If you want your voice to be heard, you want to see your voice, see your comments, you can do that through our YouTube channel as well while you're there at Coach and Company. Give us a subscription. We need 200 more to get to our next level. Our BTT YouTube channel is absolutely flying off the charts. So both are growing in a rapid rate. All right. Coming up in about 14 minutes from right now, we've got the prize fight between Soupy and my man, Young Peyton. But right here, right now, we've got several topics we've got to get to. So it's time for one word. All right, let's give a shout out to our man DG, host of Weekday Wagers in the chat right now. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, he says, are his 2 favorite wrestlers currently wrestling right now. You can check out that show today, 2 p.m. Eastern time, right here on our Coach and Company YouTube channel. All right, Young Peyton, Soupy. We now have 5 topics because I had to add one. We have breaking news according to Shams at ESPN. The reigning, defending, undisputed NBA MVP, SGA, has agreed to a supermax deal. 4 years, $285 million. You do the math? That's $70 million a year. 71 if we're being exact. Young Peyton, one word on the MVP getting his bag.
Math, because Raphael in the chat just said I couldn't do any. When I do the math there, 71.25 million to be exact. That is ridiculous. And what the guys are getting now in the league, it's well deserved for SGA.
Deserved. What he did for the Thunder this year, they had a lot of injuries. Chet Holmgren was out for a significant amount of time. Alex Caruso was out. He held this team down. He led the team in points. I think it's only like the 5th or 6th time a player has won a Finals MVP, an NBA regular season MVP, and led the league in scoring. This is well deserved for SGA.
My one word is warranted. Very similar to you guys. This guy goes out and he just simply gets the job done. And he's probably the best team player. And you say team player, and he just led the league in scoring. So this guy does it all. His teammates absolutely love him. Unlike LeBron in LA, players actually want to come and play with SGA in Oklahoma City. And according to Bleacher Report, this is the highest single season salary in the history of the NBA at $71 million a year. My goodness, how times have changed, haven't they, boys? Boy, they have changed. Topic number 2. Now, very nonchalantly, a couple of weeks ago, Aaron Rodgers just happened to drop the bomb that he got married recently. Don't know who she is. Haven't ever seen a picture of them together in public. Says she doesn't want to be public, so he's not going to say anything. Well, Jordan Love, the current Packers quarterback, he just got married over the weekend. So David Bakhtiari, who's always he has this big personality. He put out on Twitter, "Congratulations. At least one of my quarterbacks invited me to their wedding." One word, young Peyton, on Bakhtiari taking a little jab at Aaron Rodgers.
Hilarious. And you know why? Because Bakhtiari and Jordan Love played exactly one game. Yeah, one game back in 2023 together. Love's first year as a starter and Bakhtiari's last year with the Packers. And it's also hilarious because no one even knows for sure if there was even an Aaron Rodgers wedding. Is there any proof of a wedding? And if so, who the heck is his bride? He hasn't even revealed Brittany's last name. Hysterical that Bakhtiari was having fun with that.
Lucky. Why would you even want to go to an Aaron Rodgers wedding? I can't imagine what's there. I'm sure, is there an ayahuasca station? I had a gelato station at my wedding. He probably had an ayahuasca station. And it was probably no lights in the room. Why would you even want to go to an Aaron Rodgers wedding? He's lucky.
My one word is trolling. And I don't know which one is trolling more, David Bakhtiari or Aaron Rodgers about actually getting married. Do we, raise your hand, do we really think that happened? Nobody just throws it out there in a random interview on the Pat McAfee show. I don't think he's really actually married. And if you talk to or hear some of his ex-girlfriends, boy, they're like, we had to run for the hills. See Danica Patrick. My one word is trolling. Topic number 3. Sometimes when you get to the end of a career, it doesn't always go as you would like. Lionel Messi, the last couple of years, has been the face of the MLS. Inter Miami, up until this year, they had a really good squad. He's making $60 million plus a little bit of equity. Life's good in the Messi household. Not so good on the pitch. PSG in that new FIFA Club World Cup thing over the weekend, 4-0. 4 first-half goals against Inter Miami. Now, a former great player at Barcelona, Ibrahimovic, Zlatan, he says that Messi is playing with statues. That's what he calls the rest of the team around him. One word, young Peyton, on the state of Messi's career.
Can I say hilarious again? Because he also said Messi is surrounded by players who run as if they were carrying bags of cement. That's hysterical, but also embarrassing for Messi to get shut out 4-0 to his former squad. Messi right now reminds me of Kobe in the last couple of years when he was out there with guys like Smush Parker, Nick Young, and Marcel Huertas trying to win games.
Twilight. He's in the twilight of his career. This is just that time where you're going to collect your bag and just this is sort of like your swan song. You're just giving praise, for your career. He's just enjoying life. He's not getting Cristiano Ronaldo money. He's getting 400 mil. I don't know why Messi just don't go that route.
What, go play in Saudi Arabia? You want him to play in Saudi?
I'll play anywhere for 400 mil.
That's a good point.
Play in Antarctica.
My one word is cliff, as in everything falls off a cliff eventually. And just like in the NBA, somebody's got to pay the bills. And gentlemen, when you make $60 million plus, guess what's going to eventually happen? The owners of the team, in order to not lose money, are going to not pay other players. So what happens when you don't pay the other top players? They leave town. They go somewhere else. And all of a sudden, you've got this great attraction with not a lot around them. And that's why at the end, if you require a big paycheck, your career falls off of a cliff. Topic number 4. Maybe the most exciting play in all of baseball. Williet Abreu of the Boston Red Sox. An inside the park grand slam last night. One word on, is this the most exciting play in baseball, young Peyton?
Not the most exciting play, but my one word is Fenway, because that's Fenway Park for you. As an outfielder, if you're on the road and you're someone who's not used to playing at Fenway, you're in for a treat at any position out there in the outfield. In left field, you got the Green Monster, which is way too shallow out there in left field. People don't realize it until you see it in person. In right field, you could rob a homer just by simply standing up. And in center field, like we saw here, you have to deal with two walls from both sides coming together almost like the top of a triangle. Playing center field at Fenway Park when you don't do it 81 times a year is extremely challenging.
Unimpressed because your boy already did this many, many years ago. Annex Little League, 1999. Yes, I hit a in the side the park grand slam. Congratulations to do it on the major league level, but it's already been done.
Congratulations on trying to get through that joke. My one word is typical of both of you of not being impressed. I also wanted to go with statue as well because he thought it was a home run. Did you notice when he hit it, he stood there and watched, and that's how far the ball rolled away from the center fielder. He watched it, then he started running when he realized it wasn't going to get out of the park in the deepest part at 420 to dead center, right center type of field. So I'll go with statue, or I'll go with typical of you two clowns. All right, last topic. Cal Raleigh playing in oblivion, Seattle, never on national TV. Nobody ever gets to see this guy play. 33 home runs, and after his 33rd home run last night, chance of MVP. One word, young Peyton, on an MVP in Seattle?
My one word is where, because where would Seattle be right now if it wasn't for Cal Raleigh? When you're talking about one guy who's most valuable to his team right now, it's Cal Raleigh. Seattle has two guys hitting over 270. Cal Raleigh, 33 homers on the last night of June. Pretty darn impressive. Seattle has that third wild card spot right now. Angels 2.5 games back, not to mention. But where would the Mariners be without him right now?
It's unfortunate that this guy is putting up these kind of impressive numbers that only McGuire, Sosa, and Bonds have done before the All-Star break, and we don't know really who he is. He could be standing in front of me right now with the I Am a Cali Raleigh t-shirt, and I still wouldn't know who he is. It's unfortunate that it's in this market.
You know what I don't know? What your one word was, because you never said one.
I said it's unfortunate.
Peyton, did he say that was his one word?
I mean, that was in his first sentence. So, I mean, if he wants to.
Yeah, I guess it was in your first sentence. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. See, I just lost my train of thought because I had to worry about his one word and all the really hardcore rules that we have on one word or hyphenated.
So he also hinted at Cal Raleigh coming to LA playing with either the Dodgers or Angels in Anaheim because he called him Cali Raleigh. So that could be the next name, Cali Raleigh. Could see him in San Fran. It's pretty good. Pretty good, Cali Raleigh.
You two are something else. You two are something else. All right. Great job. Well, adequate job for Soupy on one word. But hey, we try to keep it simple, right? All right, we're only halfway home. Are you having fun yet? Because damn it, we are. On the other side, NBA, they're in that week window where you can agree, but you can back out. It's a whole lot of fun. We got some big-time teams making some big-time moves. Will it matter? Also, it's time for a little prize fight. A lot of you out there love to play prize picks. We've got 3 for you from each one of my guys. Who's going to win this week? This is Coach and Company, as always, right here on Stadia. All right, you degenerates on our YouTube channel. We continue to honor pro wrestling today with the launch of Off the Ropes, my brand new show on SiriusXM. So, Soupy, let me come back to you because there's been a lot of celebrities over the years that have graced the pro wrestling ring. A lot when I was there for my first 11-year run. Who's your favorite celebrity to ever be in wrestling or on wrestling?
I gotta say Dennis Rodman, because he was doing it while he was playing with the Bulls. You're on a championship contender team and you're missing practice to be on Monday Night Nitro. Like, Dennis Rodman, he's just one of a kind, and that's just part of it.
That was savage. Raphael, what about you?
He stole mine, but I'm going to go with Mike Tyson, just because that was at his prime. Tyson was still beating up people, not only prisoner guards, but boxers as well. So I'm going to say Mike Tyson.
Mine was Shaq. Every time we went to LA, Shaq would show up. And he wouldn't show up so everybody could love on him. That's just who he loves wrestling. And he actually participated in a battle royal at a Wrestlemania against the Big Show, where he came out. Big Show was there. They all parted the seas. It was a really cool moment. And being around Shaq, I realized if I was super rich and I was a guy like him, that's exactly how I would be. Young Peyton, I don't know if you have one?
Well, I was going to go back to wrestler, Coach, because I used to get ready for school, kindergarten to be exact, and I'm getting ready for class. I'm like 7 years old, and I'm putting my tennis shoes on. I'm in the living room, and I just see my dad sitting there on KTLA 5 with Hulk Hogan, just sitting there, and Hogan, he's got his shirt off, like, it's 7 a.m. I'm getting ready for school, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. All right, let's go to school.
That was my very first shirt I ever had, was Hulk Hogan's Hulkamaniac shirt, the yellow one. Then I got a little oil on it, and I was devastated because a $25 wrestling shirt in the 80s, that was a lot of money in the Coachman household.
That was Piper.
You had Rowdy Pipers? Oh, that's awesome, too. God, he was a good dude. I loved him. All right, we're back live in 5 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Coach and Company having a great day. A lot of fun, a lot of energy here at Stadium Network and everywhere the stadium is. We are on Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV, Vizio, LG. We are available in over 100 million homes. Today's show presented by the Four-Letter Word Club, the most exclusive club in all of golf, and we're so pleased they are part of us. Their first merch drop happens this Friday, July 4th. You can get all of your stuff. This is amazing right here. I love the logo. I love all of it. Their hats, it's awesome. Thank you guys from the Four-Letter Word Club. By the way, Fucci in the chat says his favorite wrestler was Cold Stone, the Creamery, Vanilla. Just teasing. All right. Now, every single Tuesday at this time, we have a little contest. I told you my boys don't get along. They don't like each other. So I turned that into what we like to call a little prize fight. All right, here are the rules. Whoever wins the week before gets to go first. Raise your hand if you won last week.
You know what? It's not all about the competition. It's about for the fans. We give these picks to the fans, but I don't care because I won this week.
All right, Super, you're up, big dog.
I'm starting with Andre Palante going against the Pirates. The Pirates are actually hot right now. They are leading the league in batting average in balls in play and third in offensive WAR. I think they're going to get to Palante pretty quick, so I got him at more 2.5 runs. A hot hitter right now, the Marlins, Otto Lopez. He's hitting .425, 8 runs scored, and 13 RBIs in his last 6 games. Going against Joe Ryan of the Twins. He's been pitching pretty well, but Lopez has handled some pretty good pitching over the last few weeks. And then we're going to go with Jacob deGrom as my demon pick. I'm sure the Mets wish they had him back right now because deGrom, he is looking like a Cy Young candidate. He's going against the Orioles, where he has a 36% strikeout rate. He's faced 9 different Orioles. He has struck out 8 of them, 4 of them multiple times. Give me the more than 7.5 strikeouts.
Soupy, make it 2 weeks in a row. Young Peyton, what do you have to say about that?
Well, we just said there's no losing streaks here in the prize fight, so it's not going to be two weeks in a row. We can't do that. Yes, we're going with Paul Goldschmidt, and he's been terrible the last couple of weeks at the plate, but he is coming out of his slump today, guys. He owns Kevin Gausman like I own Sloopy. He's 7 for 13 against him with 5 walks, so he's gotten on base 12 out of 18 times against Gausman. How many hitters see a pitcher that well? Not many. We're taking his demon pick at 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And a lot of people wonder why Freddie Peralta's strikeouts line is so low today at 5.5. It's because the Mets as a team strike out just 7 times the entire game. Freddie also just not as good on the road. 1.7 home ERA versus an ERA over 4 on the road. We're taking him less than 5.5 strikeouts today. And to wrap it up, we're going with Shane Smith to give up 3 runs in LA here tonight. 2.5 against the Dodgers. I mean, who do we think this guy is? Nolan Ryan? Come on, he's allowed 5 runs in back-to-back starts against the Cardinals and Diamondbacks. He's going to give up 3, and I think more than that tonight against the best offense in baseball.
And make sure you tune in on Wednesday's show, as we will have a full recap and tell you who won the prize fight. Normally, there is a video that accompanies said win, and you guys are getting pretty good, I might say. I really liked last week, Soupy, when you gave the L back to young Peyton. That was very creative.
Thank you.
Surprising, but creative. All right, I need to see Raphael. I need to see Big Chuck, because we are smack dab in the middle of what we call backout week. Why do I call it backout week? Because in the NBA, you've got this negotiating window. And in the negotiating window, players can agree to things, teams can agree to things, but they're only verbal until July 6th. So I want to hit on a few topics today as we start to look at teams, what their odds are, players that are agreeing. Are they moving around at all? What do my guys think about it? Raphael, I want to start with you, because Jordan Clarkson, who is a dynamic scorer, just went to a bad team, but he is apparently going to go to the Knicks. They have the least amount of minutes and the least amount of points scored from their reserves. They need a guy like Jordan Clarkson. Is this the move the Knicks needed to make to get past the Eastern Conference Finals next year?
I think what we saw in the playoffs, they were a little bit deeper team, so they're going to need a little more bench play. So this is a good move. Now, another good move is they are interviewing Mike Brown for the 2nd time tonight. So if he gets hired, then we're going to hear the LeBron trade rumors all over again. Because don't forget that contract he just signed, or extension, has a no trade clause, but he can opt out and get traded to the Knicks maybe. Mike Brown used to coach him.
Mike Brown, of all the NBA people that I worked with at ESPN, by far my favorite. One of the nicest human beings. And I understand why players love playing with him, Charles. This guy, every time he would come in and we'd do a show together, man, it was just a fun day. Is Mike Brown the answer alongside Jordan Clark? Big Chuck?
Maybe short term, what we've seen with Mike Brown, he usually doesn't last too long, but he does get the best out of a team in the short spurts. Plus, you can't argue with Jordan Clarkson, 16 points coming off the bench. The Knicks could definitely use that. I like the combination. I think it could work for the Knicks in the East for this season at least.
They've got to have something. You know what I mean, Peyton? Because you can't, for an entire season, just play 8 guys and then you get to the playoffs and you're playing 6 or 7. In the NBA, that doesn't work. In your mind, is Mike Brown and Jordan Clarkson, is it a Band-Aid or really the answer?
Well, short answer, no, it's not the answer. But when you have just Miles McBride coming off the bench, he can't be your only guy scoring the basketball off the bench. So without question, is this a help for the Knicks? For sure. But is Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, and Jordan Clarkson going to get you to the NBA Finals? I don't know. And there's a lot of pressure in New York right now on all these guys.
Yeah, it's been a quarter of a century, Soupy. You live in the Northeast. You feel it. You see it all over the local news. Where are we at right now with the Knicks?
Yeah, right now, this is probably the best chance for the Knicks with this team. I think Mike Brown is a great coach. What he did with Sacramento, who hadn't been in the playoffs in 12, 13 years, and he got him there. It was short term, unfortunately. But that's the good thing about the Knicks, especially with the Eastern Conference being so wide open with a lot of their prominent players being injured. This is their opportunity to charge and try to make it into the NBA Finals.
I'm so glad you said prominent players being injured. That feeds right into our next topic. Because, Raphael, D'Angelo Russell has agreed to a 2-year, $13 million deal to go to the Dallas Mavericks. He would be the starting point guard until such time that Kyrie Irving can come back from his torn ACL. They're hoping by the end of January. However, Kyrie Irving, Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, 3 absolute superstars that could potentially miss the entire season. Which team will be devastated more if their superstar does not come back in 2026?
Oh, it's got to be the Celtics. I mean, because they're already wheeling and dealing now, trading a bunch of players. Now, I'm going to jump back with the Mavs. They're 25-1 to win the Western Conference. What if Kyrie comes back much sooner? What if Cooper Flag balls out? What if AD doesn't get hurt? This team could be very surprising. Yes, Houston improved. But wow, sprinkle 25-1 for the Mavericks to win the West. They're a much improved team.
It feels like a good sprinkle, Big Chuck.
It's a little bitty sprinkle. I could see him coming in and taking the place. He's going to be more of a distributor by far. Tatum not being there, you can't replace a top 5 player. But you get the Pacers; they still have T.J. McConnell. He's a distributor. Then in Dallas, he can kind of fill Kyrie's shoes for a little bit. But by far, Tatum maybe a little sprinkle there.
Yeah, so Boston, it does feel like would be hurt the most. They're making the most moves. Do you agree with the other guys, young Peyton?
No, it has to be Kyrie Irving, and 25-1 is crazy because if Cooper Flag is like somewhat insane, then there you go, 25-1. But this has to be Kyrie Irving. The Mavs season is over without him if Cooper Flag is not nearly as good as what people think he's going to be. At least Boston and the Pacers still have a chance if Tatum or Halliburton go down because they're still in their basketball teams. They share the ball. They're great basketball teams that move the basketball. They don't need a guy just to hold the ball the whole time. But in Dallas, instead of a Kyrie AD pick and roll, you're going to have yourself a Angelo Russell AD pick and roll. The Mavs have no one else they had to go out and get themselves Angelo Russell. I call him Angelo because there's no D in his game whatsoever. He plays no defense. Mavs need their star back in Kyrie Irving.
That's actually very funny. Soupy, so we have a couple of Tatums and we have a Kyrie. What say you?
I have to agree with Peyton. Unfortunately, I think it is Kyrie because he is that general of the core. Who is going to take over that? I don't think it's going to be Cooper Flag. If he does live up to the hype, I think they'll be a very good team. But I could even see Halliburton. I'm thinking of guys who control the ball. Halliburton, a great assist guy. He controls the ball. He moves everything around. With Tatum in the Celtics, you still got Jaylen Brown. You still got Derek White. They'll be fine there. I don't know if they'll be the best team in the Eastern Conference, especially with all the pieces they got rid of. But I think for me, it's definitely the Mavericks.
And finally, we go to Denver. The Nuggets trading away MJP, Michael Porter, and a 2032 first-round pick for Cam Johnson. Cam said he's excited to play with the likes of Jokic and Jamal Murray. But, Raphael, I asked you the question, will Jokic even be there long-term?
Yeah, this one's very interesting. I'm going to see what Denver does throughout the whole summer because everyone thinks LeBron and Giannis is where are these two going to play. Yes, like the Lakers signed LeBron, but we all don't know what the Greek Freak's doing. I'm hearing teams are focusing on the big guy, the Denver Nuggets, the Joker. Can you imagine the Joker going to maybe the Knicks? What do the Knicks have that no one else has? They have horse racing all around them. I think Joker leaves next year. I wouldn't be surprised if teams are pushing their all their money and coin to the Joker, not Giannis.
Peyton, could you see the Nuggets actually getting rid of their multi-time MVP?
No, that would be insane. And I mean, obviously right now you can't even think about that. But when you look at how good MPJ played in the playoffs, it wasn't that good. He had 6, 10, 2, and 3 in his last 4 games for Denver in that series. That's just not good enough. Aaron Gordon really emerged as their number 3 scorer this year, so they're not really concerned about that. But Cam Johnson is a really solid player. And you said how excited he was. Yeah, I'm sure he's excited to play some games that actually matter.
15 seconds, Soupy.
To get Jokic, you would have to make the Paul George trade look like child's play. You would have to give up multiple first rounds and ready to start now players. I don't think any team is going to do that with the thought of that contending that year. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's a nice thought to say just add him to the Knicks, but in a trade, I don't know, it's crazy. You actually have to send somebody back. And that could completely dismantle their entire team and their entire franchise. All right, still to come here on the show. Man, we're having a great time. What NBA city would you like to play in the most? We're going to ask. Coach and Company live, as always, right here on Stadium. We continue to pay homage to pro wrestling as we're starting a brand new show on Sirius XM today, 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time, Off the Ropes. Now, I got to ask you, Soupy, favorite WrestleMania or WrestleMania match of all time for you?
Ooh, that is a good one. I always love when Stone Cold and The Rock met up. That to me, that is the greatest rivalry of all time in wrestling history. So when they meet up in the big stage, it's like nothing else.
Raphael.
Mine's got to be WrestleMania 1 because we all know the stories that they were pretty much going to go bankrupt if this didn't work. I've watched so much documentary. Now I appreciate more watching WrestleMania 1.
So the story goes that Hogan and Mr. T held up Vince for an additional $500,000 the day of the event. And in New York City, there's only one way you can get $500,000 in cash on a short time window. And back in the 80s, that's really gambling. If you know, then you know. My favorite was actually one gentleman that I don't know. I participated in WrestleMania Toronto, The Rock against Hulk Hogan. Right before the match, I had a little skit with the Great One. I actually got on my knees, said my prayers, ate my vitamins, and then went out and watched the greatest match of all time. It was such an event that I don't know if you guys remember this, but The Rock was supposed to be one side, Hogan was supposed to be the other. The crowd went bananas for Hogan. And so The Rock was so smart that he changed the match in the ring so they stand there, and it looks like they're talking trash. What they were actually doing was changing the match because you can only wrestle a certain way as a babyface, certain way as a heel, and it turned the whole match around that they'd been working on for over a week or 2 weeks. It was phenomenal. The whole backstory. I hope one day there's just a DVD just with those two guys talking about it. And nothing else, because I don't want to hear Hulk talk about anything else.
DVD.
I said documentary. We're back in 5 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning here on Coach and Company Live on the Stadium Network. Now, we've been talking about NBA cities and NBA teams that have been making moves this particular week. There's been so many athletes moving around, and you got other athletes to say, nope, I don't want to go there. So I want to ask my guys. And young Peyton, let me start with you, because right now you're probably, of all of us, the most free to move around, not a lot of responsibilities. You got the misses that we'll see if that lasts after college. Who knows? Who knows? But if you had one NBA city to live in and play in, and it was your decision, what would it be?
After going to a couple arenas last couple years from going to different schools, I'm gonna go with the Boston Celtics, honestly. And I know I grew up in LA. I'm supposed to grow up to hate the Celtics, whatever. The whole just feel when you're in the arena is pretty awesome. And seeing a guy like Peyton Pritchard play, who I'm not gonna say me and Peyton Pritchard are similar or anything like that, but we do have the same name. We do have the same name, but. I respect his game like crazy, and for him playing in Boston, in that city, and being a little guard like that, it seems like all the fans really admire him as a player. So I think I'd pick the Boston Celtics.
There's an IG page that does all the interview. You know, it's all the rage now that walk up to somebody on the street and just ask them questions. So there's one that does questions with wives of NBA players, and then you have to guess who they're describing. They're asking. So recently, Peyton Pritchard's wife was interviewed. I would encourage everybody to go find that. Soupy, where would you play?
South Beach. I want to be hanging out on the beach all day and then go play a little basketball and get paid millions of dollars to do it. Come on.
Big Chuck, where would you play if you had the choice?
I'm going to go. I'll stay close to home. I'll go with the Mavericks. It's not a bad gig to play in the Metroplex. Plus, especially when Cuban was there, he really knew how to had fan interaction. So, but if we're talking about a city that doesn't have NBA yet, Vegas would be the ultimate spot. But yeah, for ones that have a NBA team, give me the Mavericks.
Our man DG, host of Weekday Wagers, weighing in the chat. He says, I'd go play in Memphis. Shocking. I hear they have beautiful beaches right on the Mississippi River. Weather is never hot and crime is not a thing. Said nobody ever about Memphis, Tennessee. Raphael, where would you go play?
I'm going to say Memphis as well. So DG would have to interview me after a game. So that's why I'm going to say Memphis so I can make fun of him on the air.
And you still
That
won't
would be
make it the
something.
weekday wagers.
By the way, Rugby Hockey, part of Weekday Wagers, he says Orlando. I love Orlando, but I am going to double down with my man, Big Chuck. In fact, I might be moving to Dallas next year at this time once my daughter gets out of high school. That's how much we love Dallas. And one time when we were playing the arena, I may or may not have had my bag dangled from the top of the room that we were in, which is about a 20-foot high ceilings. I had to go to the people who run the building in Dallas, get a bolt cutters, because it was also up there with a chain that was so thick and nobody had the keys to the padlock. So we had to cut it off on a ladder. True story. Can't make it up. I still owe somebody something. All right. Now, coming off a Kiss Your Sister day, 3-3 yesterday. Today has got to be better. You've already seen our prize picks. Now, if you weren't here at the top of the show, don't even worry about it. We got you covered. It's time to lock it in. Ten seconds or less. I only need one or two nuggets is all. Young Peyton, how about you start us off, sir?
Yanks had a rough night last night. They're going to bounce back today against a guy they're very familiar with in Kevin Gausman. And the White Sox have to face Yoshinobu Yamamoto at home. Try to say that one, Sloopy. Give me the Dodgers to cover the 2.5 at plus money.
Soupy, you want to give it a shot?
Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Domo arigato.
Mr. Roboto. All right, Soupy, you're up.
It's going to be a tough day for the Mets. They just gave Bobby Bonilla $1 million, and now they're going to get a loss in return. I'm taking the Brewers on the money line, and the Lynx going against a possibly Caitlin Clark-less fever. I'm taking them at -6.5 to win the Commissioner's Cup.
The Commissioner's Cup. All right, Raphael, talk to me.
Give me the Fever Lynx in the Commissioner Cup. Both teams have scored 77.5 points. Minnesota's hit this 8 out of the last 10 games, and I think they win the Cup in a high-scoring game. And in baseball, give me the Astros on the run line, laying the 3 nickels against Colorado. Colorado, 65 losses this year. 53 of them have been covered by the run line.
How is that possible is the question that I will ask everybody. 53 times on the run line, you lose in a season. That's ridiculous. That's so far in 84 games. All right, my man Big Chuck continues to cash day after day after day. Where are we cashing today, sir?
Going back to the FIFA Club World Cup, this time we have Real Madrid and Juventus. Real Madrid with 7 goals so far in the tournament, and Juventus with 11. Both teams to score from Los Blancos and the Old Lady.
And you got Real Madrid. They are from La Liga. And then Chuck, Juventus, where are they from?
Nice little league called.
All right, that was like a 5. We'll give that a 5. All right, our JTS play of the day getting back on the horse today is what, Mark?
Coach, if Sloopy can quote Mr. Roboto, I'm going to quote Semisonic and say every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. And we start that one today with Courtney Williams of the Lynx to hit at least 1 3-pointer. She's done this in 4 of her last 4 home games, or she's averaging over 2 threes over that stretch. We're going to pair that with Milwaukee Brewers' Christian Yelich to get a hit today against the Mets, something he's done in 12 straight games and 15 of his last 16 road games. Put them both together for a plus 101. Justice Stat Sports play of the day.
Absolutely love it. Scan that QR code. Use our code BTT30, and we're going to give you 30 days for free, and now is the time. Get all of July for free, and then by the time we get to football, you're playing with house money. Now, here at Coaching Company, we're always trying to make you a little bit smarter. Raphael?
Going with the ladies tonight. The Indiana Fever are 2-10 against the spread in their last 12 games when they're underdogs of 5 points or more.
Hey, ladies, real quick, does it make sense to anyone else? Soupy, I'll come to you because you love yourself a little Connecticut sun. that the WNBA is going to expand when they're not even a league that is profitable. Cleveland, Philly, and Detroit are going to get WNBA teams or scheduled to. Soupy, does that make sense?
It makes sense in the fact that you do want to spread the game. You want to get it to more territories. Yeah, with a league not making money, adding 3 teams, not even other professional leagues do that at 3. That's a lot.
Peyton, I was shocked.
No, yeah, and if you look at, you can look at it for both ways. If you're looking at a team or a league that needs to expand because not enough cities kind of interact with the league, then that makes sense. But it also, if you're not profitable with the teams you have now, then why get more?
Big Chuck?
They obviously think going to more markets can generate more revenue, but I think downscaling would be a smarter move at this point.
That's what I said. Raphael, why don't we just take teams out of like Mohegan Sun in the middle of nowhere, and then we could give it to Detroit? But to add 3 more without losing any doesn't make any sense to me.
Because I think they're adding at least 2. I thought they were going to do, not 3. Because some of these girls don't even make teams when they get drafted a year because there's not enough roster spots. So if you add them, that's more talent on the court that we're actually missing.
Okay. But they're going to keep complaining about max salaries being $74,000. I can't even pay my rent. I can't pay my rent. Shut up. All right, gentlemen. Well done today. Go handle your business. Just like I'm about to handle my business. A quick reminder. Thank you to the 4-Letter Word Club for being our presenting sponsor today. Merch drop first on Friday. And then, of course, today, we launched my brand new show on SiriusXM, 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. All things, all wrestling, all day long. Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7 launches today. I could not be more excited to bring all of the universe to SiriusXM. And with that being said, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire company, damn it, do I love them all. Young Peyton, my man Soupy, Big Chuck, Raphael, Marky Mark, and producer man, I'm simply the coach. Trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's what we're all about every single day. This is Coach and Company right here on Stadium. Take care.